Welcome to Stephen King Saturday. Haven't done one of these in a little while, and a big reason of that is because for the last 3 weeks I've been trying to get through the Mangler here on VHS, and it's really not a good movie, and I was struggling really heavily to watch this whole damn thing, so it took me a while. So I apologize because my memory on this isn't going to be amazing. Because as I said, I probably watched it in 6 different sittings over the last 3 weeks. So yeah. But I do intend to do the Mangler 2 and the Mangler Reborn, hopefully in the next couple weeks. But for some reason I wanted to do this, and I sat down. I haven't seen this since it came out. And it's fucking rough, man. I mean, the production value's fine. Now, on the cover here, it says, it says it somewhere on the actual poster. It says that it's like the 3 masters of horror, and it has director of Poltergeist, Tobe Hooper. I don't know why they wouldn't put Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Poltergeist is a more family film. This is an R-rated film, so you'd think that they put his R-rated movie, especially when, I don't know, maybe because it was closer in relevance era-wise, I don't know. Star of Nightmare on Elm Street, Robert Englund, and a short story by Stephen King. But the lead character is played by Ted Levine, and he is the star of Silence of the Lambs. You know, he's one of the main 3, and Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture of the Year, what? What is this, 97, 95? So less than 5 years, 5 years-ish. So why would one of the stars of Silence of the Lambs that just won Best Picture 5 years ago or less not be on the cover with the Masters of Horror? That's fucking insulting. I think that Ted Levine is grossly overlooked for his role in Silence of the Lambs with that film. Anytime anyone mentions that film, I was like, oh, Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, they're so fantastic. And it's like, who's the one that everyone quotes? What are all the, some of the most memorable scenes from? Every time you hear Goodbye Horses or, it puts the lotion on the skin and all that stuff. It's all Levine. So, I don't know. To me, that's just annoying that he doesn't get any credit. And even here, fucking a few years after Silence of the Lambs wins Best Picture, it's not on there. I just don't get that. Anyways. Alright, so The Mangler. This is about a laundry service, which I guess if you run a laundry service, you can be some rich tycoon. I didn't know laundry services brought in so much money. They make this laundry service seem like it's just raking in the dough. The place is fucking abysmal. The working conditions are straight up slave labor. Why anyone would work there is beyond me. I guess they all need a job, but working for a guy like this under those circumstances and those conditions and those hours and the way they're treated, what the fuck? No way. I know it's supposed to add to the feeling of that joint, and it's supposed to be horror and it's supposed to be scary. I don't know. Tobe Hooper is definitely one of the most overappreciated directors in the genre, for sure. He's done some good stuff, but man, he's done a lot of shit, and this is one of many. So yeah, not a good one in Tobe's career here. But so we've got Bill Gartley, whatever, played by Robert Englund, and he runs this place, and his niece, Sherry, works there. She gets injured. She throws blood. She, throws it on to the tread of the fast ironer, which is called the Mangler. And I guess this is what really brings it to life, because we find out in this movie that the family that's owned this thing for generations will sacrifice their 16-year-old virginal family members, because this is his niece, not his daughter. The other ones were their daughters. I don't know. He doesn't have a daughter, so I guess it just has to be his niece. And if you sacrifice it to them, then to the Mangler, then you will be showered with riches and power. Robert Englund's character is so fucked up. He's got these like leg braces, like Forrest Gump if he never ran out of them. And he's old as shit. And I like the makeup on him. I like Englund's performance. I think it's over the top, but it's fitting for this film. So I do like him. And I like Ted Levine in this as well. They're fine. It's just this film is so silly. Like everything about it, you're just like, it's a machine that's rooted and stuck in the ground, and it's a shitty job that anyone can quit, and it's a laundry service. They're not really making that much money, but I guess if you're sacrificing people, then you're going to be inheriting things, and you're really just keeping the place open to eventually feed them. Now, why the guy has to be evil, I guess it's because they become possessed, right? The Mangler is possessing these people. So is Bill Gartley even still himself, or is the Mangler controlling him? Because at the end of this movie, when Sherry is taken over, that's clearly not Sherry anymore. She's been possessed, and if this thing's taken a body part from you, then it takes you over or influences you in some capacity. I don't know how much is left of you, or if you're just now evil. And so it's possessing you, but your possessed body is greedy and wants money and power. Or is it the Mangler that wants money and power? Or is it playing off of like your deepest, darkest desires, and at the core of every man or woman is the desire for money and power? Like, I don't fucking know what's going on with all of that. It makes no goddamn sense to me. When they're taking the fridge out of here, which is what bumps into Sherry, knocks her into the Mangler, which cuts her hand and whatnot, and brings this thing to life along with the antacids that we find out later have deadly nightshade, aka the hand of glory, in them, which is what brings, which is in that book that freaking Mark the demonologist, aka brother-in-law of John Hutton, brings it to life. And then when they kill it at the end, he accidentally puts antacids on there, is what brings... This thing is brought back to life by antacids. This thing is literally brought back to life by antacids. And then it frees itself from its, prison and its housing so that it can run freely. Yes, there's like an iron press that's running around in this movie like a monster. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. But anyways, there's a freezer that bumps into this chick, and it is the shittiest, oldest, most garbage piece of shit fucking ice chest freezer I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, okay, so they're getting rid of this thing, right? This thing is in an area that has been condemned. I don't know. I don't know. And then they're taking it, and so John actually ends up following them, or running into them, whichever. It's been weeks, as I said. And they're delivering it to someone's house. Like, someone bought it off them. Like, hey, can I take that rotten piece of shit over there? Can I pay you money for that and have you deliver it to my house? Who would put that in their home? Who the fuck would put that thing in their house? That is something that should be going to the dump. And should be inspected by, someone in a hazmat suit. That thing was so gross and falling apart and nasty, and I'm like, somebody bought this off of them and they're putting it in someone's house. How is that possible? Oh, Lord. The body that falls on, the girl with the antacids that falls on, her body is so mangled that I guess the title, Mangler, is a good moniker for this thing for sure, because that girl's body is fucking mangled, and those special effects are really, really cool. When Bill Gartley, Robert Englund's character, gets crushed later, he's being folded one at a time, just like, the press would do to fold the laundry. It's folding him, and it folds, and then it, flaps back, and then it folds again and flaps back. So you get to kind of see the progress of him getting folded up. That stuff's kick ass. Like that kind of stuff I like a lot. The gore in this is actually rather good in the places where it's used. But everything else I'm just so not into. Then I guess they're trying to give this film an old time feeling. Like almost like this was shot in like the fucking 30s or 40s or something, with some of how the characters talk. And then there's the photographer that's coming around, and he's using a camera with flash bulbs that have to be, disposed of in between every take. What? What era is this movie set in? It's supposed to be the 90s, but this guy that's coming around with the camera is ejecting light bulbs when he takes a picture. It's lunacy. Like, I get he's an older guy and maybe he just still loves those kinds of cameras, I suppose, but when's the last time you saw a camera like that in a supposed to be modern film? But the film has, it is kind of unclear in which time period it is on purpose, but when you look around, it's clearly like the time in which the movie was made. So I don't know. And it would have made more sense if they were a little bit more ambiguous, if we never saw cars, if we never, if they did that, maybe, but this is clearly in the 90s. And yeah, I seriously have so little notes here. And then the rape scene is so fucking gross. I mean, this is what I call it. That girl who ends up being, I think, like his love interest in the end, and she's like working with him. So I don't know if he possessed her to or whatever. She's just there for the money. I don't know. But and he's like taking off his pants. He's this old gross guy. Oh man, that was rough to watch. Then the little foreman or whatever the hell the guy is, he gets his arm cut in there, and he's like begging for his friend to like cut it off. And he's like, I can. He's like, dude, I'm gonna die. So he eventually does cut his arm off, which is, fine. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather lose an arm than my life. It sucked to lose an arm, but better than that. The friend who tells John, that the photographer tells him, like, you can't trust anybody in this town who's missing a limb because it's been sacrificed to the Mangler and they could be possessed by it. Yeah, imagine, like, being around anyone who's missing any kind of part of their body and someone like running out of the room like, I don't trust you. That would look so awful in your part if someone walked in without like a finger or an arm or a leg or something, and you like ran from them. That would not go over so well, especially nowadays. And yeah, I mean, when he goes to see Sherry, she's still at the hospital. The doctor like waves, and he's got like a missing finger, so he's in on things, and then Sherry's in on things, and the cycle starts all over. Now they do initially kill this thing with holy water, then it bring it back to life. Yeah, an iron fucking gets killed with holy water. Hopefully because it shorted it out, but whatever. And then antacids bring it back, and then it starts to kind of like fall apart of the stairs. Which is this like huge circular stairwell that goes down into oblivion. Like, it seriously is insane. When they pan down, they look, it looks like, they're going around the 7 circles of hell. It's so deep. It looks like it's like 50 stories straight down. It's absurd. In the bottom of a laundry service. What the fuck is down there? But it's supposed to look like horror, right? This is what I'm saying. It's like they're just going for what they feel will feel creepy, and not if it actually matches up with the film. But I guess you could get away with that if it was more of a dreamlike atmosphere to it. But I don't know. This film tonally is just not working for me either. But then the thing just, I guess, a piece of it like falls into the water below, which they fall into, and it kind of stops coming, and then you think they got away, and then it runs back to where it was, locks itself back in place. Sherry takes over the place. John comes to see her, realizes she's possessed, and leaves. And it looks like she has it under better working conditions from what I could see, maybe. But did she get the riches? And would she use them because she's just possessed? Or is she not possessed and she's just influenced? Or I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't read the short novella that Stephen King did, and I think it is in the Night Shift collection, but it's not one I read. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's too stupid of a concept, is really what I think. And I think that there's not enough reasoning behind why people would be doing things and not doing things. Like, why the fuck would they be working there? And, you know, just the idea of a killer, like, big iron press is just such a stupid one. It really is. A possessed press. A possessed press? I don't fucking know. I'm tired. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to either of the other Manglers. They have like a 2.5 and like a 3 point something, respectively. Yeah, I've seen them both. They're awful. So, and I know they're not really based on anything Stephen King, but they'll still be fun to make fun of. But when's the last time you saw The Mangler? Do you care for it? Do you like it at all? Because, man, I just could not get myself into this film for any reason. I like the grit of it. Like, I like the style they were kind of going for. And as I said, England's makeup is cool. And there are some kind of memorable things. And I hadn't seen it since it came out. And I still remembered that the thing got up and like ran around. I remember England like walking around in those leg braces, and like I remember a decent amount of it. So I guess it's slightly memorable-ish, but I don't know. There's something about it. It just doesn't flow. It doesn't work for me. So it is what it is. Let me know. Have you seen it? When's the last time you watched it? Do you like it? Can you add anything to this movie that maybe someone else will like? I don't know. I wasn't. There are good things in it, but there's just too many things that I just wasn't getting into, and I just lost any interest I had in the film. So, anyways, adios.